No one inside the paddock expected what a rider who once ruled the world of superbikes was about to step into MotoGP, then immediately point his finger toward one target. Not a rookie, not a midfield challenger, but the most symbolic rider Yamaha has had in a decade, Fabio Quartararo. And the moment Toprak Razgatlioglu turned his first laps on the Yamaha M1 V4, a storm began forming over the entire blue garage, a storm strong enough to divide a factory and reshape the entire 2026 season. He grew up far from the glamorous world of European racing academies. Toprak Razgatlioglu learned his craft in dusty parking lots on borrowed bikes, surrounded by a community that didn't have much except passion. His style was born from instinct, not engineering charts, late braking that made grown mechanics nervous, rear-wheel drifts that looked impossible, and a calmness in chaos that felt unnatural for someone so young. By the time he reached WorldSBK, he wasn't just a rising star, he was a force of nature. 3 world titles, including the 2025 crown with BMW, cemented his reputation as the king of stopping power. He became the rider who could turn physics into suggestion and imagination into reality. But even at his peak, something inside him was restless. He wanted a new mountain, a new battlefield, a place where no one believed he would survive, MotoGP. And that ambition would ignite a rivalry the paddock wasn't ready for.
When the announcement came, it didn't feel like a transfer. It felt like a declaration. Toprak was joining Yamaha's MotoGP program through the factory-supported Pramac structure. A move so bold it rattled analysts, shook up rider markets, and sent a new wave of pressure toward Yamaha leadership. For years, the M1 struggled to keep up with the brutality of Ducati, the finesse of Aprilia, and the raw aggression of KTM. But suddenly, Yamaha had something the others didn't: a wildcard, a disruptor, a rider with no fear of reputational loss because he had already built a legacy elsewhere. Leaving a championship-winning BMW superbike to jump on a prototype M1 V4 wasn't a decision based on comfort. It was based on hunger. Yet at the center of this seismic shift was the silent question everyone avoided. What would happen when Toprak walked into a kingdom ruled by Fabio Quartararo? A question that was about to explode. For almost a decade, Yamaha's identity aligned with one man, Fabio Quartararo, a world champion, a fan favorite, and the rider whose corner speed mastery defined the very soul of the M1. Inside the team, he was the benchmark, the face of development, the final word on what the bike needed. Mechanics trusted him, engineers shaped their ideas around him, sponsors leaned on him. But when Toprak arrived, everything changed. Not because Yamaha wanted conflict, but because 2 riders with the mindset of kings simply cannot share the same throne.
Pramac's new direct factory status meant resources would flow through a parallel pipeline. Data would be shared, but not always equally. Development priorities could shift. Internal politics were inevitable. Behind closed doors, whispers started spreading. Would Yamaha eventually build the M1 around Quartararo or bet on the unpredictable brilliance of Toprak? A question that would only get louder. Valencia, the circuit where seasons end and new destinies begin. Less than a month after sealing his WorldSBK crown, Toprak climbed onto the Yamaha M1 V4 for the first time. 53 laps, each one a message. He wasn't cautious, he wasn't gentle, he attacked. A debut time of 1:30,667, shockingly fast for a rookie coming from superbikes. Fast enough to beat 2 established Yamaha riders, Alex Rins dan his own new teammate Jack Miller. Paddock insiders were stunned, commentators speechless. Even engineers admitted privately that his adaptation rate was far beyond expected. But the spotlight shifted quickly to one comparison, Fabio Quartararo's best lap of 1:29,927, a 7/10 gap. In MotoGP, 7/10 is not a difference, it's a canyon.
And just like that, the storyline for the 2026 season wrote itself. A reigning Yamaha king and a challenger who had just arrived at his gates. Yet, the timing made everything even more dramatic. Toprak wasn't allowed to speak publicly until January 1st due to contract restrictions. So while the paddock waited for his voice, someone else spoke for him. Kenan Sofuoglu is more than a manager. He is a legend in Turkish motorsport, a mentor, a strategist, a guardian. And when he talks, the paddock listens. Unlike Toprak, who had to stay silent, Sofuoglu spoke boldly. He didn't tell media that Toprak would adapt slowly. He didn't say top 10 would be great. He didn't even talk about points. He talked about fighting Fabio Quartararo. The statement detonated like an explosion across the MotoGP world. Analysts debated, fans argued online, insiders whispered that Sofuoglu was sending a message on purpose. Not arrogance, not pressure, but intent. He knew Toprak's ceiling better than anyone. He had watched him bend motorcycles to his wheels since adolescence. He understood the absurdity of his braking control, the calm under madness, the ability to read tire grip like a painter studying a blank canvas. And Sofuoglu didn't travel to MotoGP to ask for space. He came to claim it. His final message was simple. There are 4 Yamahas. We want to be the best of them. A polite sentence, but one loaded with unspoken consequences. Inside Yamaha, people understood exactly what it meant. Toprak and Fabio are not rivals because of ego. They are rivals because destiny wrote them that way. Toprak is a creature of chaos. Brake late, squeeze the limit, dance with the unknown. He creates speed by destroying conventions.
Fabio is a creature of precision. Float through corners, maintain momentum, preserve tire life. He paints laps with surgical consistency. 2 riding philosophies that could not be more opposite. 2 personalities shaped by entirely different racing cultures. 2 approaches that force engineers to split focus. For Yamaha, this is both an opportunity and a nightmare. A bike optimized for Quartararo's fluid corner speed might dull Toprak's raw aggression. A bike tuned for Toprak's violent braking zones could destabilize Fabio's meticulous handling. Inside the garage, every click of suspension, every aero update, every engine mapping decision could tilt the balance toward one rider and away from the other. And the deeper question grows louder. Can Yamaha satisfy both? Or will one rider become the center of development while the other drifts into frustration? MotoGP garages are temples of silence, but silence often hides storms. With Toprak's explosive debut and Sofuoglu's powerful statements, the narrative around Yamaha began to shift. Media speculation surged. Fans on social platforms clashed. Some believed Toprak was the future. Others defended Quartararo as the rightful king. Inside Yamaha, engineers suddenly faced a dilemma. Whose style should steer development? Whose feedback should take priority? Who becomes the face of the next evolution of the M1? These questions don't stay quiet. They echo through meetings. They shape strategy. They influence morale.
Some mechanics whispered that 2 separate micro-camps could form. One around Quartararo, the guardian of Yamaha tradition, then one around Toprak, the rising phenomenon promising a new era. Nothing was official, nothing confirmed. But in MotoGP, perception often becomes reality. And the greatest fear for Yamaha was simple. A divided factory is a vulnerable factory, especially when Ducati, Aprilia, and KTM are sharpening their knives. As 2026 approaches, one thing is certain. MotoGP is preparing for a confrontation unlike anything Yamaha has seen in years. Toprak Razgatlioglu enters as the unpredictable force, a rider capable of breaking braking markers, expectations, and narratives. Fabio Quartararo stands as the established ruler, a world champion with surgical speed and the loyalty of an entire factory behind him. 2 worlds, 2 ambitions, 1 throne. The duel is inevitable, their rivalry is unavoidable, and every race, every lap, every corner will pull them closer to a clash that could reshape the future of Yamaha. Because in this story, there is room for only one king, and deep down, both riders know it. The paddock is holding its breath. Fans can already imagine the braking duels, the side-by-side battles, the sparks, both mechanical and emotional. And as the engines warm for the new season, one truth becomes crystal clear. Toprak didn't come to MotoGP to adapt. He didn't come to follow. He didn't come to respect the hierarchy.
He came to take the crown, whether the reigning king is ready or not. When the lights go out in Qatar for the first race of 2026, the world will witness the first chapter of a rivalry years in the making. A new challenger breathing down the neck of a champion. A factory balancing on a knife edge. A season that could define careers or destroy them. From this collision, a new legend will rise, but no one knows who it will be. Not yet.